Hey everybody, what's up y'all? Welcome to my channel, Tammy Talks here. Let's talk Love is Blind. I am so excited that Love is Blind is back. I watched season 1, fell in love with it instantly. I love the premise of it. I have always felt that Love is Blind is what Married at First Sight aspires to be. But if you're brand new to my channel, I do breakdowns of various TV shows, including reality and scripted shows, premium channels, streaming sites. I do a bunch of different stuff. During my recaps, I like to interject my own thoughts, opinions, and theories into each episode. So if you enjoy that type of content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, and then hop into the comment section and let's talk about it. So with the comment section for this is how it's going to work because for me, it is easier to recap episode by episode as opposed to trying to recap 5 episodes, 5 hours worth of material into like a half hour, 45-minute video, right? I know I like to do my videos based off of my own attention span. I personally do not like watching YouTube videos that are more than 25-ish minutes. I start to pay attention. I start paying attention. So I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna try to keep these recaps as short and to the point as possible. But because I am watching an episode and then doing a video, I won't be in the comment section till I'm done with all 5, just because I know somebody's going to spoil different things. I learned my lesson from the circle. But let's go ahead and talk about episode 1. Season 2, episode 1, the pods are open. Vanessa Lachey looks kind of old. I'm not saying she looks bad, but she and Nick both definitely look old. All right, so just some notes I have from the first episode. I like Jared. Jared seems very sweet. He seems very down to earth. His reasoning of wanting a wife because he was in the ICU and didn't have anybody. Where were your parents? No friends, no siblings, but I get it. I get it. I like Jared. We saw a very small snippet of him, and I feel like that was it. This episode revolved a lot around Shane, Shayna, Nick, and Danielle. Trisha is awful. Trisha is an awful person. Trisha is an awful person. I got so sick of hearing her talk about her damn Instagram followers and how many friends she has. Girl, we don't care. We don't care. You got all them Instagram followers, you got all them friends, and you still had to sign up to a show to find somebody. Shake, awful. Excuse me. Shake is awful. Shake is here trying to use a bunch of different, not even subtle clues to find out how these women look. He's asking women, will he have to pick them? Like, will he have trouble picking them up? He's asking, how much do you work out? He's trying to find out how much they weigh by saying, I love buying clothes for women. What size do you wear? Get the entire F off the screen. And I love that the other Indian woman, I cannot remember her name, I think it was Dee Dee. I love how she told him, this is not how this is supposed to work. On top of the fact that both of them were like, yeah, we're brown people and we only date white people. Okay, so then we start to see some connections, all right? So we have Shane and Natalie. Natalie is a consultant. Shane is so a little part of her little package is Natalie is Asian, and she feels that a lot of times she would meet these men on dating sites, and they would try to stereotype her. Oh, she's Asian, so she must be quiet and very submissive. And she was like, not me, not over here. I'm that bitch, okay? So she said that she's very loud and outgoing. So she meets Shane. Shane is a lot, okay? Shane is a lot. He said he's into vibes and energy and reading people's personality. He is in the real estate business, and they have already, it was like day 2, and they were already saying that they were each other's number 1. And I said, oh, that's very fast. But we also don't know how much they are talking, all right? So then we get some backstory on Shane. He acknowledges that he's a tool. But he said does have a big heart, and a lot of the women recognize him initially when they come in because he has a very distinct voice. I think it was Kyle with the big ears, the man with the big ears, that said he sounds like Beetlejuice. So Shane and Shayna. Shane said that he wants a woman who has a lot of self-awareness. He wants you to have that confidence within yourself because to him, confidence is very attractive. Shayna is trying to interject. It's like double dutch. She's ready to jump in, but he just kept talking. And he's like, yeah, I like to give compliments because you give a compliment. People don't give compliments a lot. And it was like, Shane, take a breath. If it is one, and I talk a lot, Tammy talks, right? I talk a hell of a lot. But if it is one thing that I cannot stand is when you are trying to interject into a conversation and somebody is just talking clean and smooth over you. And I feel like that's what Shane was doing in that moment. He means well. I see what he means by having a big heart, but I can definitely tell that Shane is a tool. I don't use the word tool. I guess that's how you use it. He is a tool. Trisha, Lord have mercy. I hope nobody marries Trisha. Trisha is very annoying. Trisha is very full of herself. Trisha wanted to let us know she has a lot of friends. She said that, so she's talking to the girls up in the women's living area. And she said, I think a lot of the guys like me. I said, girl, how do you know? Has everyone told you that they liked you? Because everyone's being cordial right now. But she said that a lot of the guys like her. And she said that none of the girls are competition compared to her. And the producer was like, how do you know? They can't see you. So she was like, I can just tell, and I'm just going to start shit talking to girls. I said, oh, heifer, go on somewhere, girl. We're not going to play this game with you. No, ma'am. Absolutely no, ma'am. Not going to play this game with you. Because I feel like if you have to badmouth the other women, even when these men can't see you, you have a trash personality. You have a super, super trash personality. But alrighty. So Trisha's talking to Nick. And she tells Nick that, oh, all the guys are always so excited to talk to me. Girl, he said hello. But okay. You can tell Trisha, while Trisha is, I think she works in real estate. She's probably very successful. Trisha was a ditzy sorority girl who got away with being blonde. And I hate to say that about her, but that's what her personality is exhibiting, right? So she said that she has a lot of Instagram followers. A lot of Instagram followers. And that a lot of girls are intimidated by how much she works out because they don't know if they can keep up with her. I said, oh, Trisha, this ain't how you get to know somebody. Because one, no one cares about your Instagram following, right? No one cares about your Instagram following. But okay. So she said that she does not do dating apps because she doesn't like to go on dates with strangers. Let's rewind this. She does not do dating apps because she does not like to go on dates with strangers. But will sign up for a TV show where I am going to get engaged to a stranger that I've never seen. I can't. I cannot take Trisha. So she said because she doesn't want to waste her time or her calories. And when Nick was in his little interview and he said, holy shit, that's exactly how I felt. Nick seems like a very, very down-to-earth person. He's out there honestly looking for connections. I think he's a very attractive man. I like his little silver fox gray he has going on there. He seems because we don't know these people for real, but he seems like a really, really good guy. And if she did like him, she scared him the hell off. I'm sorry, if he did like her, she scared him the hell off. So then we have Danielle. Danielle is traumatized from being caught fat as a kid. So she said she remembers being, I think she said high school or middle school, talking to a guy as she walked away. He said, "Wow, she's fat as hell." You know, kids are cruel. Kids are little assholes. Kids are awful people, especially like middle school, right? So she said that because of that, she is always like double checking herself, and she has a lot of self esteem issues where she, even though she has lost all this weight, she thinks that people will look at her and say, "Oh, you know, her arms are too big," or this or that and the other. And it's like I always feel so bad for people when they have those type of situations and those types of stories, because nobody deserves to feel like the smallest things about them are going to be nitpicked in every single situation that they're in. You know what I mean? So she's on her date with Nick, and she tells Nick that she's an overanalyzer, and it's because she comes from a long history in her family of divorce. And she said that she has never, no one in her family has a healthy marriage, so she's never really seen that. And I always feel so bad for people that have that. I know and realize and recognize that I am just very truly blessed that like my parents are still married. They've been married for 43 years. It will be 40, yeah, they've been married for 43 years. Um my aunts and uncles are all married. My grandparents were married. You know, their husband, both my grandmother's husbands died before them, but they never remarried, never did anything like that. So I have seen a lot of positive examples of a healthy marriage. I have a lot of friends whose parents are still married and doing well, and I just really honestly and truly feel bad for people that say that they don't have any good examples. Even in my neighborhood, I grew up in a neighborhood that there were tons of kids, and we all were like two parent households, like the parents are still together for the most part. So I just kind of always, and it's nothing to like take pity on for people, but I just kind of always feel bad when people say that they just don't have a healthy example of marriage, because when you don't have a healthy example, I think those are the people that when they do go into marriage, they're kind of basing it off of celebrities and what they've seen on TV. And it sometimes it ends good for them, but sometimes it just doesn't end well for them. So I hope that even though she has not had the best example, that you know this process works well for her. I like Danielle. She seems very nice. She seems to be getting along well with the other ladies in the household, and she most importantly, she's not bitchy, like from what we can see. So she said that she has lost 70 pounds, and she's scared to tell people that because she doesn't want people to think, oh, she'll go back to being the weight that she was before that. So she's telling Nick all of that, and Nick is like, well, I mean, I'm just on the slimmer side of a dad bod, because Nick said he was chunky as a child, so they kind of connect with that. And I feel like when he said, "I want to give you a hug," he meant that. It wasn't just like the way that these people be throwing out hugs. He honestly and truly meant that. So they both feel that your partner should be your best friend, and they start to talk about um how important that is in a relationship and in a marriage. So then we meet Kyle. Kyle has some of the biggest ears I have ever seen. But he said he's been rejected in the past because he doesn't have a fancy corporate job. He is a construction worker. Construction workers make damn good money. So whatever young lady did not want to talk to you because you had a blue collar job is a fool. But okay. So he's on a date with Shayna. They bond over basically construction contractor work. Her father is a contractor. Her brothers work for her father. So they kind of have that type of bond. She said that if he was out working in the cold and he's tired, she would have dinner ready for him so they could lay on the couch and she would rub his feet. So I think by her growing up in that type of environment where her dad did that type of work, she knows that she kind of knows like how tired they are in the work schedule and stuff like that. So Kyle said he is ready for marriage. Shayna asked him. She said she had been engaged before, but God said no. So the guy she was engaged to was very controlling, and they ended up calling off the wedding 40 days before the ceremony. I just think of all the money that they must have lost from that. So then we have Shane. We find out that Shane's father passed away a few months ago when he is talking to Natalie, I believe. So then we have Shayna and Shane out on a date, right? So she asked him she tells him, I heard you basically propose to Natalie. I thought that was messy, but okay, girl. So he tells her, he doesn't deny it, but he basically tells her that he wants to keep talking to her and getting to know her more throughout the process. So here's the thing. Natalie was with the other girls and they're all talking. She told her, verbatim what Shane told her, that he had put her name in the front of his notebook and started, and they were each other's number ones and all this other stuff. Shayna likes Shane, so when she heard that, she confronted him about it, and then they have like low-key dry humping, like I guess you could call it phone sex, wall sex, where he's asking her what she's wearing. She got on some little basic short set with a flannel, and he's over there, oh my God. And I'm like, he gives me meathead. He gives me meathead. But nonetheless. So, we get to Nick and Danielle. Nick is ready to propose to her. So he proposes to her by giving her a box that has a notebook in it. Kind of like the notebooks they have, but it is like a bright Tiffany's blue. And he tells her that this is just the beginning of their journey. So it must have had some pages in there that he had written out or something. And he tells them that they'll have many more years of memories to put in there. He proposes. They say, I love you, which kind of made me cringe. But they say, I love you, and they are set to get married. I hope when they see each other, it works. Because I don't want Danielle to get any rejection. And I feel like we haven't seen Nick connect with anyone else. So hopefully this works. So then we have Natalie and Shane. And this is where shit gets real for this episode, right? So Natalie goes into the room. Shane comes into the room. They both say hello. He asked, who am I speaking to? She said, who do you think it is, or guess, or something like that. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth mistake, Natalie. Because you know that he's talking to other people. And it's not like Natalie, it's not like she has a super, super distinct voice. So he was like, oh, Shayna, God, that's who I hope it is. And Natalie gets quiet. And he was like, Shayna, stop playing. Meanwhile, Natalie was like, it's Natalie. And he was like, of course. I kind of feel like, did you not know who your date was with? Do you guys know how they set up these dates? How does that work? Nonetheless, she feels away now. He immediately gets defensive. And it's like, I've got to be real with you. If you're mad about this or if you're offended, that's kind of weird. It's not weird. It's not weird for one, because if I'm coming in here and you say that you are hoping it's someone else, and then when I tell you my name, you have basically an adverse reaction, I'm going to feel a fucking way about it. I'm going to feel a way about it. Nonetheless, it kind of goes wrong. She gets super quiet. He's over there, hello. I want to say, what, Natalie, why don't you just get up and leave? So they kind of go back and forth with him making all these excuses about, well, you're dating other people, you're dating people, I'm trying to go through this process. And it's like, Nick, I'm sorry, Shane, don't even do all of this. You called her by the wrong name. All you literally had to do was apologize and say, you know what, I'm sorry. But he tries to tell her that she is his number one. She feels that he shouldn't have been doing all he was doing with the making plans for the future. He keeps saying, I'm here to find a wife. He says that she isn't being fair. He doesn't understand why he's being beat up because you called her by the wrong name. And I don't think it's the fact that you called her by the wrong name. It's the way that it happened. But I think Natalie is just more upset because Shane might be the only person that she's talking to. So then he tells her that if she is upset by a small hiccup, then they don't have what they thought they did. And then he gets mad, gets up, leaves, slams the door, right? And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you mad for, Shane? What are you mad for, Shane? You called her by the wrong name. You called her by the wrong name. Do I think that Natalie is overreacting? Yeah, a little bit. A lot of it. But stop telling people to guess. Stop telling people to guess, girl. So she gets back, or he gets back to the men's house or whatever, talking about now he's ready to go. Why you want to leave now? Because you know that Natalie is going to go back and talk to some of the other girls, find out what happened. This ain't going to look the best for you, right? Meanwhile, Natalie goes back to the women's house, and Shayna, who likes Nick as well, is just looking at her like this, like kind of smirking. I feel like this season is going to have me up here. I feel like it's going to have me up to the brink. But I thought the first episode was good. I hope we see more of some of the other people. You can kind of assume and guess which are the couples that are actually going to get engaged based on who we actually got packages from and who we're seeing the most about. But this has just been episode 1. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, notification bell so you don't miss the other episodes or the other recaps for the other episodes. Again, I will be in the comment section after I post all 5 episodes, but talk amongst yourselves. Catch you guys in the next one.